What's your position on the abortion issue? Are you happy with what the government is proposing on the legislation for abortion?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is a women's health issue. I mean, nobody wants a case where their sister or their cousin or their aunt or is put in a situation where their life is put at risk. And I completely support any legislation that will be brought in to protect the life of the mother.
How about protect the health of the mother? Do you think abortion would be okay in that instance?
Well,
rather that a woman should have a choice where her health would be seriously impaired if the pregnancy was not terminated?
Well, if you're talking about the suicide issue, I mean, I'm afraid I haven't seen legislation. Obviously, suicide is it's a very sensitive issue. It's not something that I think it would be right for me, or that I would be able to comment on until I've seen legislation. Obviously, in January there was a lot of there were committees that went on. There was the health committee debated this. You know, in January, unfortunately, I had other things on my mind. I wasn't looking at this, but I have asked for the transcripts. It's something that I would want to see further, and unfortunately, I can't really comment.
Okay. Vincent, if I just come in there, I've actually called on the Minister to publish the legislation now, because there's no reason why we shouldn't have that legislation now. By the way, I actually don't think we need to see the legislation. We're either for it or we're not. We've had all the tribunal, we've had all the investigations.
Before you know what...
No, hang on. It's the duty of the politicians to give direction to the people who write up and draw up the legislation. So it's coming from the politicians, not the people who are drafting up the legislation. We give them the instruction.
What's your position on this?
The government should give them the instructions.
Well, I mean, I generally come from a pro-life perspective, and I've always been on the record about that I'm pro-life. You raised the health issue there, Vincent. I mean, that's not a possibility because the Constitution, the case doesn't allow for that. So that's
but
just simply...
You'd still be in favour of a woman having the right to choose to terminate a pregnancy where there is a real risk that her health would be impaired for the rest of her life if the termination was... But anyway, I agree that's not part of the present discussion.
The health issue is not part of the discussion. What's part of the discussion
is the suicide issue
and protecting the lives of women.
And that's the suicide issue.
And that's the key thing.
Are you against the Are you against precluding suicide as a grounds for abortion?
What the government has said is that they are going to come up with legislation that won't allow for abortion on demand, and that is the big worry with that there would be possibly abortion on demand from that, and we have a difficulty with that. But the government has said that they have a proposal that will deal with that and won't allow for abortion.
And if it permits a suicide as a grounds for abortion, will you be opposed to it?
If this allows for abortion on demand, I'll absolutely be opposed to it. If it is about protecting the lives of women in the various circumstances where a woman's life is at risk, then I will support it. But we wait the legislation. I mean, I've been always open that I'm pro-life. I mean, that's my position. I've given that commitment at various elections. But pro-life means every life. So, you know, I've been in and out of maternity wards and gynecology wards with my wife in routine and non-routine situations. So her life...
You've already canvassed that.
No, I'm saying... No, hang on, Vincent. Sorry, Vincent, sorry. I mean, a woman's life is absolutely crucial and needs to be protected. The government has said they have a proposal. When they have a proposal, we'll decide on it then. And I think that's key, because I don't agree with Owen that you can give an opinion on something. I mean, at the end of the day, the way the Parliament has been worked by the government, they decide everything in this Parliament, and that's the way they've done.
Briefly on your position.
Well, my position is very clear, and I made no bones about it. I actually think there's an awful lot of pussyfooting and hypocrisy about this issue. I am completely in favour of the legislation, including providing for suicide, because at the end of the day, it is about protecting the life of the woman in crisis. And I actually say, I find this whole abortion on demand terminology actually quite objectionable, because this is... I mean, I have 2 young daughters, I have a wife I love very much, I have sisters, and yet we live in a country where the state doesn't respect them or treat them and allow them to have the freedom to make the decisions that could affect their lives. You know, we need to... I think the society needs to grow up a little bit.
I don't understand the phrase abortion on demand, as though
it's
people
very pejorative, Vincent.
Would be forced to have abortion.
It is a pejorative term. Yes, it is, and it is meant to make people uncomfortable.
Darren.
The Sinn Féin position is quite clear on this. It's been the same.
The Sinn Féin Meath position isn't very clear on this.
We have been. The Sinn Féin position is very clear on this. We support legislation, and we think it should be introduced as soon as possible.
So you're against your colleagues' ballot obese?
No. The situation there is quite clear. The party position has been reaffirmed at successive Ardeshna, We have a quite extensive debate in relation to it. Padraig Tobin is quite aware of that, and the party will handle those situations internally as we have been to date.
When did